Muted.
Versus voc ed, and it replaces them with a recognition that public education in California, and specifically secondary education, must be both about rigorous academics and career application. And that's what linked learning is all about. And the reasons for this should be obvious to all of us. You know, over 60% of jobs in our country are going to require some education beyond high school. But there are too many students not finishing high school, and many who do finish are not prepared for either college or career. We know that by the year 2025, we're going to need an additional 1 million college graduates who are ready to succeed in the workforce. But only 40% of young adults in our state hold an associate's degree or higher. Only 15% of students graduate from high school prepared for college. 15%. That's not 50% would be an insufficient number. The number is 15%. And so what linked learning attempts to do is to bring to light the connection between rigor and relevance, and to enliven curriculum and the relationship between secondary education and our modern workforce. We do so by connecting with employers and public educators to create real work opportunities for young people as early as 15, 16, 17 years old. And we do so by encouraging a fresh look at curriculum, taking, if you will, all of the new work that has been done on Common Core really to the next level, by saying that high-level courses can be taught in ways that are relevant to biotechnology or criminal justice or the culinary arts or any of the other growing sectors of our economy. Today, 24% of all high school students in California are in a pathway program that is aspiring to be consistent with the 4 pillars of linked learning. But we view ourselves, frankly, at the very beginning of this movement. For even with the Career Pathways Trust Fund that I was proud to author, and that now is called something different now that I'm out of the legislature, we've raised over $1 billion to fund this movement and to try to bring to scale this practice so that every high school student doesn't have to make a choice again between voc ed or college and high standards, but can take a rigorous set of courses that also help infuse them with the enthusiasm for a career and begins preparing them for a career. I can't think of anything more important, and I'm proud to be part of this effort. Thank you. Next, I suppose it's now my job to introduce Arun Ramanathan, one of the linked learning leaders who participated in our just completed strategic planning process. I should say a little bit about that before I turn it over to Arun, which is that this 2020 work that the Linked Learning Board and its stakeholders have participated in is really an effort to figure out how by 2020 we have these principles infused throughout the entirety of California. And you know, the goal is threefold. We want more underrepresented students completing high school, college, and career ready. We want more underrepresented students with the ability to attain a career-ready post-secondary certificate or degree. And we want more underrepresented students employed in financially sustaining and a personally relevant career. Maybe put another way. The way I put it is that the test for all of us ought to be whether every 20-year-old in our state and in our country is either in college or in a high-level apprenticeship or workforce training program that will lead to a high-wage job. And until we can answer yes to that question, we have a lot of work to do, and I think linked learning is the answer. Arun?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Senator Steinberg. I just want to make sure really quickly that I can be heard.
Yes, you can.
Excellent. Okay. So it's a real privilege to follow the Senator. I think his acknowledgement that we're really talking not just about the future of millions of students, but about the future of our state is what's guiding the work that we have all been doing around Vision 2020. And we've actually developed some measures and some specific milestones that we would like to see starting very, very soon by 2016. We want to make sure that 45 districts, at least 45 districts, across the state of California are working to implement linked learning. Now we know, because of investments in systemic infrastructure, many of which were brought forward by Senator Steinberg, from the UCCI to the more than $1 billion provided by the Career Pathways Trust, SB 1070, funding for the Green Energy Academies, and another $900 million on its way to school districts through the CTE incentive grant. We're pretty confident that at least 45 districts in California are building career pathways that aspire to become linked learning pathways. But we want to make sure that there's fidelity in this approach. And so we know, and we all define as a community, linked learning programs as having 4 essential core components. And those are rigorous academics, sequenced technical training, work-based learning in real-world workplaces, and then comprehensive support services.
Gotta be more careful.
So I'm hearing other voices on the line. Just want to make sure that that we're muted. Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So again, these 4 components are the essence of how we're defining the linked learning approach as a community moving forward. And so this is what we'd like to see integrated in the 45 districts, and hopefully the hundreds of districts will follow. Now, because of early leaders in this approach, like the California Partnership Academies, the NAF Academies, CART in the Central Valley, Kearney High School in San Diego Unified, where I had the privilege of working, and the Linked Learning District Initiative, we know that there are a number of effective delivery models for linked learning. But what we also know, and this has led us to expressing our belief, that we can't be exclusive in our movement towards 2020. We need to be intentionally inclusive of all the potential delivery models when we think about the linked learning field. But what we also know is that the research has shown that students get the most benefit from linked learning when it's delivered with quality and fidelity to these 4 core components. So as a community, again, we have a responsibility to incentivize, support, and recognize high-quality linked learning. As you will hear, this commitment to quality is the through line for the strategic vision to guide the linked learning field and Vision 2020. And we are committed to using research and data to hold ourselves and the broader field accountable for delivering on the promise of linked learning. So for more on this aspect of data and research, I'm pleased to introduce Elizabeth González, Program Director for Youth at the James Irvine Foundation.
Thank you, Arun. Like Arun, I want to make sure that everyone can hear me.
You're on.
Great, thank you. And I just want to start off by saying, thank you to everyone who is on the phone today in this incredible moment. At the James Irvine Foundation, we are so incredibly proud of the investments and accomplishments to date made in linked learning. And as I just said, it's evidenced by today that the field of linked learning has truly launched a movement committed to continual improvement and to the advancement of student achievement for the students themselves and also for the future of California. I want to take a moment to thank the field leaders who've been working, including the Linked Learning Alliance Board of Directors, who have been working so hard and engaging so thoughtfully to advance the work to increase linked learning opportunities for many more young people while maintaining a focus on quality, as we just heard. The Linked Learning Alliance, we're proud to say and happy to say that is now a nonprofit organization led by a dynamic group of board members who are completely committed to student success and who understand the challenges we need to overcome and to sustain and improve California's economy. As part of this evolution, and with the establishment of the Alliance as a leading field organization, the Irvine Foundation is now positioned to begin to move away from the center as the key coordinating entity of this work. That said, the foundation remains committed to supporting linked learning through this critical moment, and in particular through critical field building investments. In the shorter term, we'll stay involved by helping to achieve the field's milestone goal of establishing a coordinated research agenda that addresses field-identified needs and ties practices to student outcomes so that we can continue to move toward high-quality implementation and build off the work that we've done to date. As Arun noted, research has shown that quality implementation of linked learning is a key for students to benefit from the promise that linked learning holds. As many of you know, we have been evaluating the Linked Learning District Initiative for the last 5 years. The research has shown that it is a proven approach to improving student outcomes, such as increasing graduation rates and attendance in post-secondary education. Linked learning students complete more coursework required for admission to the UCs or the CSUs, and linked learning students gain more career and life skills compared to their peers. At this point in time, we are reviewing the most recent evaluation, year 6, of the Linked Learning District Initiative that's being conducted by our partners at SRI. The findings are consistent with what we've seen over the last 5 years, and I just want to provide you a preview of some of those select findings that you'll hear more about over the next month. And that's that the linked learning approach is making a difference for high school students, leading to more credit accumulation, decreased dropout rates, and higher graduation rates for linked learning students in certified pathways. These findings build on and reinforce the strongest and most consistent findings from earlier evaluation reports, which indicated that students in certified pathways were on track to graduate at higher rates than similar students in traditional high school programs. And linked learning certified pathways are effective for students entering high school with low academic skills. So these findings both reinforce our belief in the promise of linked learning and that we must remain laser focused on quality. One way that we will continue to build on this work is through the development of a data system. And like other milestones, by 2016, we will be working toward the development of a data system that can help the field better understand and improve the linked learning model. It is necessary for our field of partners, and that includes districts, regions, and others, to be able to measure inputs and outputs to support high quality linked learning implementation. As shown here, this data system will be essential so that we can measure and study connections between specific practice and student outcomes. I now want to turn it over and I'm pleased to introduce J.D. Hoye, the president of NAF, who can describe the ambitious field vision to develop a system of quality assurance and certification that will incentivize, support, and recognize high quality and effective linked learning.
We are bringing J.D. Hoye into the unmuted world of this webinar.
Great.
Excuse. As we proceed, just a reminder that we are in the midst of the webinar at the moment. We will be taking questions from participants on the webinar as well, so you can use the GoToWebinar system to record a question in the question bar that's in the dashboard for the system. And following the presentation by JD and Gary Hoachlander, we'll have some time for some discussion and questions for the assembled panelists and for the field leaders. All right, we're still working on. I know JD Hoye, the president of NAF, is with us, and she's the chair of the quality assurance panel and a key field leader in this work. But we're having a technical challenge in terms of bringing her into the call. We'll keep working on that. But as was noted earlier, while 24% of high school students in California are in a pathway today, That's going to grow to at least 38% by the year 2020 under our vision. Linked learning at this scale requires a different approach for quality assurance and for certification. And so the linked learning field vision for 2020 includes a key milestone goal of creating a quality assurance and certification system with established quality standards, systems that define and measure high quality linked learning, and incentives, importantly, that reinforce and reward quality. This system will be affordable and accessible to the field at scale. It will incentivize continuous improvement. It will be crystal clear about equity, and it will keep students at the center. In tandem with a system for measuring pathway quality, we also intend to develop a process to certify linked learning students' college and career readiness. The quality assurance and certification system will also connect to the linked learning data system that Elizabeth just described. The pilot phase for the new quality assurance and certification system will begin in mid-2016 with the new system released for full field participation by 2017. And more detail about how pathways will be able to participate in the new quality assurance and certification is going to be shared at the Linked Learning Convention. So be sure that you're there in February for the big reveal. Meanwhile, our field vision calls for establishing powerful incentives for participation in the new system that we will accomplish by embedding employer preferences for linked learning students who demonstrate skills and knowledge that are needed in the workplace, with our field goal being that by the end of next year, at least 10 major companies have indicated a preference for linked learning graduates. That sounds ambitious, but we know it's possible because this pull strategy is embedded in NAF certified hiring. NAF certified hiring is a major national initiative by NAF for students to be future ready, by which major employers across the country have committed with NAF to make employer preferences for students who complete at a high level the NAF pathways, including a work-based learning experience, and demonstrate that they have successfully mastered these skills. And in turn, employers agree to provide tangible, significant benefits for those students when they complete college and then apply for positions within those companies. NAF, as a part of the linked learning field here in California, has committed to work with us to work together to make my NAF employer preferences available to linked learning students in California who demonstrate those same competency standards that employers are setting to help determine workforce readiness. The Linked Learning Alliance is also forging strategic partnerships with employer-focused organizations like the California Chamber of Commerce, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce, and the Real Coalition, and the California Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development to cultivate employer interest and participation in linked learning. We've also built a web-based platform called Launchpath that makes it easier for employers to find and offer internships to linked learning students. These pull strategies based on employer demand for linked learning students are complemented by the field's goal to build linked learning demand for our graduates among post-secondary institutions, expressed by preferences for linked learning graduates offered by colleges and universities, so that students who complete linked learning pathways and work-based learning experiences get a head start in their work in the post-secondary sector without having to repeat the same content and without having to re-demonstrate their mastery of these skills and knowledge. So while we have a lot of work to do on this front, we can celebrate a related win with Governor Brown's recent enthusiastic signing of Assemblymember Chris Holden's AB 288, a bill that increases opportunity for students to enroll in dual enrollment courses. So now it's my pleasure to introduce my colleague and fellow member of the Linked Learning Alliance Board of Directors, Gary Hoachlander, who is the president of ConnectEd, the California Center for College and Career. Gary.
Thank you, Christopher, and thank you, JD. I'm sorry you weren't able to get hooked in. You know, as Christopher has just described, and JD hopefully can bring in a little bit later, one of the really distinguishing features of, I think, the Linked Learning Initiative from its earliest years was a strong commitment to getting as clear as we possibly can about what constitutes high-quality pathway design and implementation. And that is very much part of the agenda of the panel that JD and her colleagues are leading. As important as that is, and it's critically important, if we are really going to realize the aspirational goal that we have for equitable access and making certain that every young person in California is able to benefit from a high-quality linked learning pathway, we have a lot of work to do to build the capacity of teachers and counselors and principals and district leaders, post-secondary partners, employers have a huge job to do to build their capacity to design and implement high-quality pathways. It's terrifically exciting to see the growing number of districts and post-secondary institutions that are engaged in this work. And as those numbers continue to grow, it presents us with an enormous challenge about how do we organize ourselves to do this capacity building at the local, regional, and even state level. One of the strategies that the Alliance is pursuing is in order to supplement and leverage work that we know has to continue to go on in classrooms and schools and districts. Can we begin to develop a regional strategy that will help us more effectively and more efficiently accelerate the capacity building work that is in front of us? And so the Vision 2020 establishes a goal of selecting at least 3, actually it turns out our initial number will be 4, exemplar regions that can test a regional model to achieve improved student outcomes and to accelerate the number of linked learning pathways and districts throughout California. These regions, the additional 4 regions, are the East Bay in the northern part of the state, Tulare Kings in the Central Valley, San Bernardino in the Inland Empire, and Long Beach in the Los Angeles area. Our vision for linked learning also includes the goal of developing a web of capacity building support services that will assist schools and districts, community colleges, post-secondary institutions in carrying out this work. There are initially many partners involved in helping to do this. They include NAF, the Career Ladders Project, the College and Career Academy Support Network, the Los Angeles Center for Powerful Public Schools, Jobs for the Future, ConnectEd, and many others. It's absolutely critical that as we come together to do this work, we are committed to collaborating, not just coordinating, in putting together the kind of really coherent, effective system of capacity building that we will need to achieve this work. This is a very ambitious vision. This work is not easy to do, but I think with Vision 2020, with the help and support of all the people who are gathering around this field, we can, in fact, make it possible for every young person in California to have access to the kinds of pathways that will prepare them for lasting success in both college and career. And so with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Christopher. Christopher, to recap the goals and milestones that are so critical to realizing the linked learning field vision. Christopher?
Thank you so much, Gary. So as you've heard, the Linked Learning Alliance field leaders and our board of directors have identified a series of interconnected milestones that help us to realize this vision. First, to build greater demand for quality linked learning practice among both districts and post-secondary institutions by demonstrating how linked learning can support successful student outcomes. Second, to build greater demand for linked learning graduates by employers and post-secondary institutions. Third, to drive improvement in practice through effective and scalable technical assistance, capacity building, learning communities, and best practice sharing. Fourth, to better understand and improve the linked learning model through measurement of and research on the connection between specific practices in linked learning and student outcomes. Fifth, to test the efficacy of the regional model to achieve improved student outcomes and accelerated scale. Sixth, to establish quality standards and assessment systems that help to define and measure high-quality linked learning, and to develop data standards that support measurement of linked learning practices and outcomes across K-12, post-secondary workforce, and other systems. Seventh, to develop a clear and sustainable means of stewarding and governing the field's ongoing success and growth. And we're doing that because over the next 5 years, we want to achieve some pretty ambitious objectives. First, that we achieve increased demand for linked learning among districts, post-secondary institutions, and employers who all see it as clearly aligned with their own success, whether that's in things like LCAPs, community college remediation rates, CSU pathways to the baccalaureate, or the employer talent pipeline and hiring. Second, that the field is able to measure inputs and outcomes and has a means to validate and support high-quality implementation and improvements of linked learning at scale, and that means is widely accepted and used by folks both within the system of linked learning and by employers and state government. Third, that there are regional exemplars, that are multiple districts that have interconnected downstream post-secondary and employment partners, that there are these exemplars in place and that through them the field gets clearer on how to unlock greater scale of high-quality linked learning. Fourth, that policy and funding streams, including philanthropic and statewide funding, but also private and local funding streams, like in Oakland, support scale and sustainability of what really works. And then finally, that the field has a means of stewarding and governing our own ongoing success and growth and operating with a shared voice and with mutual accountability. Now, I'm pleased to say that even though these goals are aggressive and ambitious and have a 2016 milestone marker, we're already making significant progress towards realizing them. We are in the process of developing that quality assurance system and the associated data system that JD would have described if we had been able to connect her to the call. And we will be seeing a preview of the quality assurance system at the convention in February. The partnership with NAF, which is, again, one of the most exciting developments in our field nationally and with other employers and employer association, is well underway. Third, the development of a network of support with the capacity builders is also already begun. The regional model, as Gary described, the key regional exemplars, regions of excellence have been identified, investments are being made, and the hard work at the regional scale is happening. And then finally, community colleges and CSU are in this work like they never have been before, implementing linked learning practices and better serving linked learning students through things like dual enrollment, and are articulating and finding ways to help to accelerate the impact of linked learning on student success and on equity in California. So we're achieving these goals because they are co-owned by all of you in the linked learning field, and the work to accomplish them is acknowledged as a collective effort. We're building knowledge together about linked learning within each of our organizations, and our partners at GMMB, our communications firm, are working on a linked learning onboarding guide that's going to be a terrific resource for building common understanding about linked learning, both within our organizations, but with our partners and with the general public. Together, we in each organization that's part of the linked learning field can support this work by supporting quality use of the new Career Technical Education Incentive Grant funds that are coming forward from the state. That will be $900 million worth of funds that can be used to support linked learning. And now it's incumbent on us in school districts with partners and with capacity building organizations to support them to direct those funds in ways that will support high quality linked learning. Also, we can all participate in the Linked Learning Convention in February 2016 in San Diego, and the policy convening here in Sacramento in April. We can all also encourage inclusion of linked learning in our local districts' local control accountability plans, and there are tools and by the Jobs for the Future, by the Linked Learning Alliance, by Connected, by many partners to help districts and partners to do that. We can also engage together with K-12, post-secondary, and workforce development partners to build systems for work-based learning that match up with articulated pathways. And then when field leaders that aren't on the webinar come to you with opportunities to be early adopters with some of the newly developed systems we described earlier, we hope you'll say yes. There's a huge amount of work and opportunities for partnership that have real impact in this field if we simply work together and take collective action. So at this stage, we'd like to welcome any questions, and as you know, you can use the GoToWebinar dashboard to raise any questions, and then all of the panel is available to answer them. And I see we have a few. Yeah, we will be emailing the PowerPoint with a copy, with a link to the recording to all the participants on the webinar. Question about the data warehouse and how this is going to work, and we had a slide earlier that described the structure for the data system. And what we're working on is a new data approach that aligns with some initiatives that the core districts and we are undertaking in partnership. And that system is still in development. As Elizabeth González said, our objective is to have the data system in pilot phase by the end of next year and fully operational shortly thereafter. But the data system that we are in development on is intended not to be a separate system in which linked learning pathways and districts will be entering all the elements as a separate item. As a key design feature of the data system is to be easily scalable and can rely on data that's already been entered through other systems in order to provide the base data. But look for more information about the data system at the convention in February. All right, it appears that all of our questions were about data, and so we will, as I said, we will be unveiling the architecture of the data system and the quality assurance and certification system at the convention in February. And so with that, I'd like to close the webinar. I want to particularly thank J.D. Hoye, who I knew moved heaven and earth to be part of this webinar, and we could not connect her technically, but she's been a central leader in the development of this Vision 2020 as president of NAF, and as also a key member of the Linked Learning Alliance board and the chair of the quality assurance panel. So thanks so much to J.D. So as we close the webinar, just a reminder that the RFA is now open for the Career Technical Education Incentive Grant, and that is that you can get more information at the link that's on the screen. We'll also be sending out as well in the Linked Learning Alliance newsletter also. But there's $900 million in this grant program over the next 3 years, including $400 million in this very first year. So that RFA is now open, and it's a relatively fast application process. So we certainly encourage everyone in the field, both in districts and schools and colleges and their partners and all the capacity building organizations, to pay close attention to this opportunity and to make sure that we leverage it to assure the provision of high quality, equity-focused linked learning for all. So thank you all for being a part of the Linked Learning Alliance Vision 2020 webinar. Thanks to our panelists, and have a great day. Take care.